How dare you challenge me? How dare you accuse? Like, even if I did it, how dare you speak up about it?
Imagine the average Nigerian girl. A lot of people have been abused. A lot of people have been raped. A lot of people, like, all manner of things are happening to people. But they can't talk about it because the abuse that follows the abuse is worse than the abuse itself.
Yeah, someone speaking up for themselves is not an embarrassment. I think it's because Nigeria is not used to people speaking up. Nigeria is not used to talking about the uncomfortable things.
And if you cannot show leadership in family, how can we trust you to lead a nation?
True.
You know, so this thing is deeply rooted in almost in our bloods, you know, because then you will see fathers raping children, you will see people in position like abusing the privileges of people that they are superior to.
And you know the thing is, this thing is going to have serious ripple effect. And in a very dangerous way, not in a good way.
Have you guys seen Senator Natasha? She's
very pretty.
Do you understand? So it makes sense that she's the one that will be getting that kind of attention. So, hi Dima.
Hi Chi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine.
How was the week for you?
Same old. Work Monday to Friday and then weekends.
Observe the stock market.
Oh guys, the stock market was terrible last week, but I think slowly now it's slowly coming back. Yeah. Apart from that, every other thing is fine. How are you? How was your week as well?
My week was good, but I've been following the Senator Natasha story, and it's been making me really sad. You know, that is why I wanted us to talk about today. I don't know if you've been following this story as well.
Very briefly, but I'm not actively watching it.
Yeah.
So I have an idea of what is going on.
So maybe I can brief you on what is happening.
Yeah.
So basically, one of the female senators in Nigeria, and I wanted us to talk about this because this thing has become an international topic.
Yeah.
So one of the female senators in Nigeria is accusing the Senate president of sexual harassment. And I mean, it's valid for anybody to express themselves, but I feel like what is actually like making me sad is how people are reacting to this story. You know, I'm not saying that whatever she's alleging is true or not, but I feel like people are coming out to call her a prostitute. People are coming out to say that she's embarrassing the country. People are coming out to like say a lot of mean things to her. So let me just give you like a quick run through of the series of things that happened.
Okay.
So the first one is that she was replaced as the chairman of the local content and made chairman of the diaspora committee.
Okay.
And then the gale of detections at Senate affects its arrangements.
Okay.
And then she now refuses the change of her seat and refused speaking from a non-assigned seat. And she stands on the Order 10, right of privileges, to counter the order stipulation that she can only speak from an assigned seat.
Okay.
The Senate begins process of suspension on seat controversy, and then she grants a Rise TV interview alleging sexual harassment. And this was where she explained how the harassment happened. And the Senate president's wife now files a defamation suit against Senator Natasha. And then Senator Natasha files suits restraining ethics committee from investigating her. Then she submits a petition for sexual harassment at Senate. The Senate rejects her sexual harassment petition because it was signed by her. Apparently, it wasn't supposed to be signed by her. And then she resubmits an amended sexual harassment claim. Then she was suspended by Senate for misconduct the same day.
Of course.
Without the case being investigated.
Of course.
Now, what is appalling to me is the fact that the Senate president has to proceed on his own case. I've never seen where this thing is done.
That is what really annoys me when it comes to Nigeria, is that rules are not taken seriously. Because why would you be proceeding your own case?
Do you understand?
They're accusing you of harassment and you're the one. Like, definitely you're not going to let yourself or let them accuse you. You're going to, even if it's true, you won't let any investigation be held. That is also why they are suspending her, because they don't want to go into details of what is going on or what if the senator did it or not.
Yeah.
And this is what annoys me as well. The fact that other women are coming out to say that she's a prostitute, that she's embarrassing women and all of those things. That's the problem I have. That's also why most times rape victims or people that have been sexually harassed don't come out.
They keep quiet because I feel like the bash they get from speaking out is even worse than the abuse itself.
Because I was watching some of these things on YouTube, like she showed me, and I was very, very angry. Why I was angry was because they're not even letting her speak. Like when she wants to say something, they put off her mic.
They're messing with her mic.
They're messing with her mic. Why? Let her speak up. Because if she's not lying, why are you not waiting to hear what she has to say?
So first of all, for those people that have not been following the story, what happened is that she told the story of how everything happened. So she and her husband had gone to visit the Senate president at one of his houses, and the man was showing them around. Allegedly, like she said, that her husband was making a call behind them, and then she was walking with the senator. The senator was holding her hand, and then they got to a point where the husband was busy making a call. Like when the husband was no longer in view, the senator now asked her if she likes the house, and she was like, yeah, the house is beautiful and all of that. The senator was like, yeah, I want us to spend more time. Like I want you to make me happy here or something like that. I want us to spend more time. Like he started like making all those unnecessary comments, and then she declined, and that was the genesis of all this. And you know how people behave. Once somebody tries to get something from you and
you reject it,
they suppress on all your rights.
Yes.
You could have kept personal. I'm not saying that this is true. This is what she said.
Allegedly.
But what is annoying me is the fact that the case was not even investigated at all, and the fact that the person who is being accused is proceeding over his own accusation.
The case will not be investigated because look, who are we talking about? We're talking about the Senate president, who is also the one preceding his own case. So there is no way he's going to let people investigate. And I can hit my chest that allegedly, if they investigate that, nothing is going to come out of it because of the person we are talking about. That's one thing with Nigeria. In Nigeria, everything goes as long as you have power.
I think it's
power
the problem
power
of developing countries, because it will be like this in every other developing country, because I feel like sometimes people begin to behave like they're colonizers, like when this is the problem of colonized people, because when you're colonized and when you're subdued, like getting to that height becomes your dream, like it becomes the feeling of power for you.
How dare you challenge me? How dare you accuse? Like even if I did it, how dare you speak up about it?
So the one that is annoying me is not just that they're suppressing the case now, is the fact that everybody, okay, maybe not everybody, but most people are coming out to call her a prostitute, coming out to say that she represents power, like she's a person of power. I mean, imagine a senator saying that she was sexually abused. They were saying that it's bringing shame to the Senate, and this is why they don't like giving women power, and these are the reasons.
And that is the problem, because if we continue like this, women will not also be in power. There are just 4 senators that are women, right?
Out of 100.
Exactly. So now if people keep saying, oh, that's why they don't like giving women power, so what it just means is that women should shut up and keep swallowing whatever it is that is being dished out to them, just so that women can be shown. It means that we're not making any progress.
You know what is annoying me is the fact that if a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria can face sexual harassment, imagine the life of an average girl child on the streets.
Exactly. What can we talk about? Exactly. So oh God, Chama,
imagine if a senator is being if she's being treated like this for just speaking out about sexual harassment,
and she has a little bit of power.
Imagine the average Nigerian girl. A lot of people have been abused, a lot of people have been raped, a lot of people, all manner of things are happening to people, but they can't talk about it because the abuse that follows the abuse is worse than the abuse itself.
Yeah, because now next thing is, as I was watching, one of the things they found against her is that she dressed immodestly, and this woman wears her hijab and her white cloth and covers up her body. And that is just my problem. Whenever someone speaks up about sexual harassment or rape, immediately the victim becomes accused, in the sense that, why would you dress like this? Why would you dress like that? Instead of addressing the real case where someone was sexually harassed or abused, they are looking at, what were you wearing? Why should should you be dressed this way? Why in the first place should the person touch her?
Most of the time, everybody focus on it. It's just like, it's a typical thing to see that, like, when a young girl is raped, people blame her for dressing seductively.
Exactly.
And nobody is talking about the evil that the man had done. Do you understand? And they blame for me, I think it goes both ways, if I'm being honest, you know. Now, first of all, if you dress in a certain way, imagine if I should just wear pants and bra and be walking in a I'm not justifying this thing, do you understand? But it exposes you to that.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't be blamed alone. The person that is perpetrating this act is equally wrong, more wrong than, do you understand?
I feel like the outfit should be the last thing that should be discussed. Because why would you do that? Okay, if you see that this person is not appropriately dressed, what you will do, stop looking at the person. What happens to you taking off your eyes and walking away?
But in the case of Senator Natasha, she dresses so decently. And what is annoying me is other female senators coming out to say that, oh, this has never been heard of, how come they're not being abused as well? Have you guys seen Senator Natasha? She's
very pretty.
Do you understand? So it makes sense that she's the one that will be getting that kind of attention. I'm not saying that it is true or whatever, allegedly. Let's say that what she's claiming is true. It only makes sense that the seduction will come to her because she looks good.
Very
do you understand?
attractive. Yeah. So the thing now is, like, even those female senators coming out to accuse her, or one problem I've noticed in Nigeria is that as long as you can eat, every other thing is swept under the table. And what I mean by this is that's also why most times when we have election, once they've given them rice, money, I have secured
a good man.
The person, no, not even it, like, I have secured my rice, I've secured my money for my family. Anything that happens to other people, I do not care. Now those women, those other senators coming out to accuse her and all, is because it has not happened to them and because they are eating good, allegedly. Nobody should come for me. But that's one thing I noticed in Nigeria. OES members, as long as at this point is favoring you, every other person's problem is none of your business. That's what happens.
But what people don't understand is that what affects one person affects all. Because me personally, while growing up, I've also experienced the behavior of these unguarded human beings. You understand? Maybe like it's typical to maybe like go to a market in Nigeria and people are calling you to come and buy their items and they're even touching you
in inappropriate places
against your will. And if you dare talk about, I always shun them, do you understand? But then it didn't come easy. They would always, like, whenever you try to shun them, they'll now call you Olosho, they will call you all sorts of names.
That was nice.
You know,
Jesus Christ,
they will call you all sorts of names. Like, this is the average experience of a Nigerian girl.
Yeah.
And she coming out to represent women to solve, this is a very pressing issue, that this is not just about sexual abuse, but the fact that when somebody is abusing you sexually, they're not just taking away your right to express. They're like, because now it's not just that the sexual harassment happened. You see how she's not being treated at the Senate. Whenever she wants to say something, you know, she will not even be given the chance. And this is what happens because somebody has felt threatened that he didn't get what he wanted. Now he will now use his power to sit on this other person's power.
And you know the thing is, this thing is going to have serious ripple effect. And in a very dangerous way, not in a good way. What I'm saying that is, if Senator Natasha spoke up, as she has spoken up about this, right? And this is how she's been treated. She's been suspended, and I'm sure that it's not going to end there.
Salary,
I'm sure that they're going to oppress her more and more. The ripple effect this is going to have is that other people are going to learn from this action. Now, the senator, allegedly, was accused of this, and nothing happened. Rather, the person who reported is now is now facing several issues. Is now being punished for coming out to speak. It means that other men or women will harass people, and the people being harassed
won't be precedents on how
they won't be able to speak up because they will not be afraid of losing their jobs. They'll be afraid of being treated the way or worse than Natasha is being treated right now. That's the scary thing. The ripple effect is going to be so bad.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I just wish that sometimes I think we are making progress as a country, but sometimes when things like this happen, you just shake your head and like, are we even making progress? Are we even moving forward? So if there is a way we can speak up about this using any platform platform you have, social media, whatever, please speak up. I'm not saying that, whatever Senator Natasha is saying is 100% true, but let them give her that voice to speak up. Let this be investigated so that any other person that is a victim in the future can boldly come out and say, this was what happened to me, and have that confidence that the matter will be treated. And not every other girl, this has happened to me, but I can't speak up because I know that the consequences of me speaking up is that it's going to get worse for me. I'm going to either be threatened, I'm going to lose my job, or they will be after my life. It's very sad. It's really sad.
And
watching.
The problem is that, like, most of the time when you're having conversation with people, it's typical for everybody to be blaming the government, but the truth of the matter is that both the people who are messing up the system and the people who are keeping quiet about that are equally guilty.
Exactly.
So if somebody is stepping on your rights, but then you're not doing anything about it, you're equally, like, you deserve the treatment. It's almost like, okay, you're okay with it. I feel like an average person doesn't even know their rights. I don't think we have anything called rights, human rights.
In Nigeria, I doubt
we don't have the right to express, we don't have the right to feel, you don't have the right to just be. And a lot of times you see people like complaining about the political situation, complaining about the leaders, but put that same person in a place of leadership as small as the family. Do you understand? Because the family is the smallest level of leadership. And if you cannot show leadership in family, how can we trust you to lead a nation? So this thing is deeply rooted in almost in our blood, because then you will see fathers raping children, you will see people in position like abusing the privileges of people that they are superior to.
Exactly.
Like as low as in those positions. What will now happen when they become House of Reps, senators, presidents, and and political leaders? So sometimes it's not just like we keep blaming our political leaders, but we have to do our part.
It starts when they say charity begins at home.
It begins at home. We have to do our part of, at least allowing people to have a right, because it's so easy that when somebody does something that doesn't benefit you or is not convenient for you, like people typically look for ways to exploit situations.
True.
So you should. This is a sad topic, honestly.
It's very, very sad, because it also reminded me of when Bukola spoke up. That's Timi Dakolo's wife, when she spoke up about the pastor that harassed and my goodness. My goodness, it was bad. Why is she coming out now? And because this was something that happened years ago. And the thing that people forget is that being sexually harassed or raped is not something that you can easily heal from. It could take you years of trauma. They were like, why are you speaking up now? Why did you go to his house? What were you wearing? All those things.
As a child, you were asking what she was wearing, And I also feel like let me not stretch it too far. I wanted to talk about the religious, canker worm.
Yes, religion has done more harm than good. Because that's also why when maybe a father is raping the daughter and the mother is aware, the mother zips because in religion you're not supposed to divorce. Divorce is something that God hates, so you're not supposed to do divorce. This topic is really deep, guys. It's really, really deep, and the earlier we start acting on it, the better. Because now it might not be affecting you, and you're like, it has nothing to do with me, but it could affect your niece, your nephew, your daughters, your sons. So keeping quiet does not help. Because it's not affecting you now does not mean that it will not affect you in one way or the other. So that's it.
So what do you feel about people? A lot of people were also coming out to say that she's misrepresenting Nigeria, that she's showing a lot of weakness and she's embarrassing Nigeria. What do you think about the whole thing?
Why I would cancel that anytime, any day. Someone speaking up for themselves is not an embarrassment. I think it's because Nigeria is not used to people speaking up. Nigeria is not used to talking about the uncomfortable things. Yes, we're not ready to talk about the uncomfortable things. Nigerians like to pretend. Let's sweep it under the rug. No, you're not embarrassing or making anything weak. Because she's speaking up for herself and people are not used to it, it is embarrassment.
And I feel like people will never be able to solve their problems until they acknowledge that they have a problem.
Exactly.
So if you can't even acknowledge that you have a problem, how would you see it as a problem that needs solving? So for me, this is beyond her. This is no longer about,
because the fight is deep.
This is about her, what she represents. This is about is a gender fight at this point.
Yes.
It's about the evil that has been going on for so long, and she's having the boldness. She said that she's never going to apologize, and I don't see why she
Why should she apologize?
Because imagine somebody stepping on you and you're told to apologize for the sake of
and
peace.
That's the way Nigeria is. Like, as long as that person is higher than you, you're supposed to say sorry.
I'm sorry, sir. You know how we believe that elders are wise. Like, you're supposed to always respect your elders, whether your elders are misbehaving or not. He's an elder. You're supposed to respect them and all of that.
But because you're old also doesn't mean that you're very intelligent. No, there are some very old
age fools. Doesn't mean wisdom.
Exactly.
The fact that you're old doesn't mean that you're wise.
There are some old fools.
I wish that people will start living up to their age, living up to their titles, so that when you say that you're this, people will respect you based on the achievements you've earned with the title, and not just because you have a title. Me personally, I understand that she's a senator. She's a woman of power. You know, if I'm being totally honest, I would have preferred if she strategically played the whole thing. I would have, because in the court of...
Do you think she will have the time to strategically play?
Yeah, let me make my point. In the court of law, evidence is everything. Do you understand? Because you see how people are twisting the story now. Yeah. Evidence is everything. But at the same time, I think she spoke because it was beginning to affect her right. And this is somebody who represents people. Do you understand? Yeah. But now you're having a personal fight over a representation. She represents people and she needs to speak, she needs to air her opinion and she needs to air the needs of her people. And because that was taken away from her, she had to go back to what is causing this whole
where it all started.
Yeah, do you understand? Yeah. I wish she had more evidence. Those days in the university, maybe when a lecturer is trying to
film everything
film everything and have a solid evidence. I wish that happened, but that was not the case. But all the same, I am so proud of her for speaking out. She's speaking for women, and I don't think it shows weakness in any form. I think these things are things that should be tackled. And this is the only way the society can move forward. If somebody is being abused and they can't think about it and they can't talk about it, or they are being subdued or punished for speaking their rights, the society has not gotten there. The society is really, really going backwards.
And I really wish that she can get all the help she needs. But the thing is, I just fear because she's in Nigeria. Yeah. I feel like next week something else will take over the news. And
she's gone ahead to go to report it to the IPU, which is like an international body, which is people are even bashing her more.
That's the thing.
She's now taking the embarrassment
for that.
Global. But I don't see. Her right has been taken away from her, and she needs to go as far as she can to fight.
I really wish she would have the right people in her corner, so that this will be dealt with and dealt with right.
I feel so bad that I don't feel like she has a lot of support. Yeah. I don't feel like she has a lot of support.
The fight is deep, Choma. The fight is deep, and I don't think is going to be resolved anytime soon, especially with the way look at now, even women, they say women supporting women. I don't think that happens. That is not happening. Because if her own fellow senators are even against her, it means that the fight has not started. EJ Teka, Igbo people tell EJ Teka, the journey is still very long.
And the funny thing is that there was one of the female senators that was proposing an agenda, and it was being turned down by the Senate president, and she has supported this lady that, okay, I see a point in what she's saying, I'm moving the motion. Do you understand? Yeah. Even the lady she was supporting could not even support her, So I feel like
it's sad, guys. It's sad.
I feel like Nigeria needs more of Senator Natasha. People that even when you're stepping on her, she knows her rights.
She's rising
even
up,
when all the consequences are coming, even when you're cutting all her privileges, she's still standing on her rights. We need more people like that.
Let's really know what you guys think about what is going on right now in the comments, honestly, because if we can stay here and talk and we still boil back to the same thing of women not having their rights.
Yeah, but even as she was feeling what she was feeling, I felt it to my bone, because
when I even watched where she was trying to talk and they were putting off her mic, it was really sad.
That was the least of it, and she's still trying to exercise her rights. And oh my God, so
we leave it to you guys. Let's know what you guys think, what is currently going on. Do you think that the way she's currently being treated is right? Think about it. If she was your mom, your sister, your nephew, your niece, or your auntie, the way she's being treated right now, and also, do you think she's going overboard? Should she have maybe swept it under the rug? Or
being a senator, being a woman of power, is she supposed to?
What do you think, guys? Let's know in the comments.
And do you also think that she's embarrassing the country by carrying on this investigation or these allegations
forward?
Yeah.
We want to know in the comments.
Yes, please.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed this particular episode. If you have any topic you want us to discuss, be sure to leave it in the comments as we read them all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we'll see you guys in our next episode. Bye.